Welcome to sfhomeless.net. I am David Beal, one of the founders and administrators for sfhomeless.net. One of the powerful tools that makes sfhomeless.net the best online tool for homeless resources is its use of wiki web pages and wiki categories. To understand categories, let's first go to the most popular wiki in the world, Wikipedia. Wikipedia is an encyclopedia in a wiki format. Let's look at the Wikipedia page for The Wizard of Oz 1939 film. You can see how much detail people have added to this page. Almost everything you could want to know about The Wizard of Oz is here. At the bottom of the page, you will find the categories. A category is a more general topic that identifies the subject of the page. The Wizard of Oz is a 1939 film, and the category 1939 appears at the bottom. There are other categories too, such as films set in Kansas and films based on children's books. If you click on 1939 films, you will see all the other 1939 films that have been identified on Wikipedia. Here's Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, a famous 1939 film. Here's Gone with the Wind, another very famous 1939 film. If we click on Gone with the Wind, we can see a similar web page format, just like on Wizard of Oz. At the bottom of the page, we can see Gone with the Wind's categories. Among the categories, 1939 films, just like on Wizard of Oz. But the categories also include films set in Georgia, or Best Academy Award winners, or American Civil War films. All the films have their own wiki page, but then pages are given special identifying categories that bring similar concepts together, so that a user can jump to all 1939 films if that's what interests them, or they can jump to Victor Fleming films, or to films set in Georgia, etc. It's a powerful cross-reference tool with unlimited power to help a user find things that may not have occurred to the user to look for or know about until the similarity was connected through a common category. On sfhomeless.net, wiki pages are used to identify service providers, government agencies, and more. The categories on sfhomeless.net are used to identify the types of service that an agency might provide. Currently, we have categories such as alcohol and drug abuse, dental services, food, veterans, SRO hotels, and many more. And that list is probably out of date because new categories have been created. A better place to find all categories is through a link near the top of the main page. This list is updated instantly whenever a new category is created or even when an error category gets deleted. On the main page is another link to another category page called Categories Displayed by Subject. This page is not updated automatically and is instead modified by users. These categories were placed under generic headlines like housing, legal, medical, and so on. This page may be out of date and should not be relied upon as complete. It's mostly a guide for new users. When a new page is created, existing categories are reviewed to see what service the agency provides. When the categories are added, that new agency page is then associated with the other agencies providing the same service. Let's create a new page called XYZ Clinic. To create a page, you go down to the bottom of the main page to where it says Add Resource. After you finish typing the name, click Add Resource. A blank text field will open up so that you can type in the description of the new agency. Let's add some basic information like an address and a sample description. When you've finished entering a description, now is the time to add a category. Let's imagine that XYZ Clinic is a medical clinic. Let's add a medical category. First of all, before we add a category, let's see what categories already exist that might be added to our new page. Let's open up another tab so that we can look at the categories while at the same time be in edit mode on the other tab. Now let's look at the categories. Sometimes there may be so many categories that you need to change the view to a larger number. By looking under medical, we can see medical and health, medical records, mental health, medical and health appears to be the most generic category to say that our agency has medical services. Later on, I'll explain why not to create more specific categories that might confuse the users. Before we return to the page, let's also look for a category that has HIV and AIDS services. We can see right here that the category for HIV and AIDS is HIV/AIDS, as opposed to a category that starts with an A. We'll keep that in mind when we're adding our category. Let's go back to our page and click Add Category. The first one will be Medical and Health. We'll start by typing MED, and already you can see 3 choices appear. Let's arrow down to Medical and Health, hit Tab, and we're ready to enter another category. Let's type in HIV, arrow down, hit Tab, and now we've added 2 categories. Let's save our changes. And now you can see, here's our new agency name, here's the description that we entered, and here are the categories that are associated with it. Let's say that we want to add one more category. Let's say that our clinic is in the neighborhood south of Market. We'll go back to the category page, look under Neighborhood, Neighborhood-Soma, come back to our agency page, click Add Category, NEIGH, hit Tab, hit Save. If we click on Medical and Health, we can see down here under X, XYZ Clinic. This has been instantly updated. Another common error is when people create a brand new category that hasn't existed yet, but an existing category should be used instead. For example, the existing category Food should be used for all food service, whether it's lunch, dinner, holiday giveaways, grocery giveaways, etc. You shouldn't create the new category Grocery just because an agency gives away groceries. When people create a category like that and it stands alone because it's only being used in one place, then someone might click on grocery and see only one agency. And then the user will be misled thinking that there is only one grocery giveaway agency on sfhomeless.net.